Yeah. And maybe next episode, we'll talk about the other thing that you do on a mattress other than sleep.
Oh.
Text.
Oh.
No. Oh, no. Don't text.
Don't text.
Don't text.
And don't watch
text.
TV. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Healthy Sleep Podcast by MattressGrove. We're your hosts, David and John Grove. We are brothers and co-owners of MattressGrove. And we're here because we want to talk about how self-care it really starts at night.
Today, we're going to dive into why sleep isn't just important. It is the foundation of self-care. It's not just, for self-care. It is the foundation, and so it affects everything we do throughout the day. I mean, if we don't get a good night's sleep, it affects our mood. It affects our brain, our heart, our skin, every organ in our body. So we're going to dive into that today, David, and let's, figure out, why sleep is so important. Because we've been doing this for a long time.
We've been doing it for a while.
Yes, we have.
Absolutely.
All right.
And listening to many, many stories and talking to a lot of people. So
yes, yeah,
Yep.
we're lucky that way because we get to talk to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Go to different conferences and talk to a lot of people who know a lot of things about sleep doctors, and and we're gonna have some of those on here.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into it. Like I mentioned, sleep restores your mind. If you get the right sleep and your brain gets into all the different sleep levels, REM, light sleep, medium sleep, heavy sleep, deep sleep, that's the most important thing of your day. We'll talk about, your day is very important, but what you do, what happens at night is the restoration of all of that inside your brain. So that's why, that's why we feel the way we feel, right? Because if we don't get a good night's sleep, that's when we start having other issues.
That's right. I mean, and we interrupt those different pieces of our sleep by some of the things we do before we even get in bed. So, yeah, I mean, your muscles relax, your body relaxes. A lot of people will blame a mattress for not having proper support, when it's really your muscles that you've worked through the day, or it could be a mattress that you don't have the proper support from your mattress. So a lot of the people talk about backache from sleeping on a mattress, and that's really due to the fact that the mattress is not supporting your back properly. So your back is the muscles in your back are actually trying to support your back all night long. So they get tired. And so when you wake up in the morning, you're gonna have some sore muscles there.
Yeah, no, that's
Stuff like that.
Yeah, so if you don't have the proper support, if you have a backache, it could be your mattress.
Mm-hmm.
It could be your mattress. Yeah, for sure. If you're not getting the proper support, like David said, your muscles are trying to straighten or keep your back aligned, and that mattress is not helping that. That's right. But a good supportive mattress will keep your spine aligned, right?
Yep.
So you don't wake up.
And allow your muscles to relax and recover for the next day.
Yeah, awesome. We talk about the sleep, being a foundation with the, with our moods, with all of our different organs, and how our brain. But the one thing is, if you think about it this way, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? If you don't fill it up, then you can't pour from it. So the only way you pour, what I'm talking about is, and what the sleep experts say is, your cup is empty at the end of the day. It should be empty. If it's not empty at the end of the day, then you didn't do what you need to do during the day. But most of us, I know everybody listening, we empty our cups, right? So, you can't pour from that empty cup if you don't restore it, if you don't fill it back up. And that's what the brain does when we get a good night's sleep, and we're properly supported. Sleep, also reduces stress. A lot of people, we all go through depression times and things are tough. And, we say, well, I need to get better sleep, or I need to go to sleep. A lot of people just go to sleep and they sleep for 12 hours. Well, that's not really a good idea either. because how our bodies are set, they're set to get, 8 hours of sleep, basically 8 good hours of sleep. So, and when we are consistent with our sleep and our sleep patterns, then we get that 8 hours, and we will have less stress, less anxiety, less prone to catching diseases or to catch, a cold. So the key is not to sleep more, but to kind of get that quality sleep, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, again, it's your body healing itself, whether it's your muscles, whether it's your brain, dreams are another piece of that. Like John mentioned, your immune system, everything is rebuilding and energizing itself at night while you're sleeping. So it's very important that you get that full 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing too, a lot of us today, I know I do. I take supplements, and so, but if we're taking supplements to better our life, feel better, whether it's protein or whatever it could be, but we're skipping thinking about what we're doing with our sleep, and we're not really focused on our sleep, then we're skipping step one. I mean, you can take all the supplements in the world, but if you don't get a good night's sleep, they don't even work. Because they can't, because your body's not acting, operating at its maximum. So, it's good to take supplements. Don't you think it's good to take supplements?
I think they can help. I mean, it definitely. But again, if like you said, if you're counterproductive by not getting a good night's sleep, these other things don't work. It's like diet, like exercise. I mean, you gotta have a good night's sleep.
Yeah,
you got to. It's the one thing that the body has to have.
Yeah, that's
to have, because I mean, we don't have to eat great, we don't have to exercise, but you gotta sleep. You gotta sleep.
The old three-legged stool, right?
Stool.
The three-legged stool. But if you chop off that sleep part, it doesn't matter how much you eat well, how much you exercise, your body will shut down.
Yeah, it will shut down. It will shut down.
Yeah. You mentioned, exercise, and I mean, exercise is super important, right? And we all know we need to do more exercise, and hopefully, we all are working towards that. But if we exercise hard, then we got to recuperate, and again, sleep is that piece. You can take supplements, and highly recommend take recovery supplements if that works for you. But the number one supplement is sleep.
It is sleep.
And it's natural.
Yep.
So if you work out hard, no question, get you a good night's sleep, because that recovers your muscles better than anything, better than water, which we need water, better than protein, or better than creatine, or whatever you may take. Yep. Sleep will be best, right? And you're getting better, stronger muscles, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, you mentioned, getting 12 hours of sleep. You can think about that okay, so if I walk an hour every day in the afternoon, it all of a sudden it becomes natural. I'm not sore. I feel great. But if I all of a sudden decide, hey, look, I'm gonna walk for 3 hours in the afternoon, the next day I'm gonna be really sore.
Yeah.
And I think that's similar to sleep. If you get try to get 12 hours of sleep, you can't just recover. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So, you keep a good routine. You keep your, hours into, keep your sleep into 8 hours. I think you're so much better off that way, because the 12-hour doesn't work, and the 4 hours trying to make up for, later on getting the 8 hours, it just doesn't work.
No,
it's not going to work.
Yeah, so. No, that's definitely, you can't make up for it. No question. So, we mentioned that sleep is makes you look better, makes you feel better, makes your skin better. So I guess the old adage that get your beauty sleep, I guess does that work?
Absolutely.
You must be getting yours, because you're looking pretty beautiful.
I'm working on it. I did work on it, but I've seen some people that didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we definitely need to encourage them. So
yeah, absolutely. Sure. And the thing about it is it sleep's cheap. I mean, it's I don't want to say it's free, because there's opportunity cost of when you're sleeping, you can't be doing something else. But there's nothing more important than getting that good night's sleep. So
that's right.
No question. It makes our body, makes everything better.
It does. It definitely does.
We talked about how sleep, fuels our body as well. Again, we talked about the three-legged stool. We all, we want to sleep better. We want to eat better. We want to exercise more. But there's not one thing that will fuel you better than sleep. It's a fuel to your body. We don't think of it that way, but I've heard some sleep experts talk about that that is the fuel, the energy that gives you the next day. We talk about getting another day, which we all know. Go off on a little tangent. We feel grateful to be here today. We feel grateful to get this day because we're not guaranteed. But if we get another day tomorrow, then let's make it our best day by getting great sleep tonight, so that we can perform tomorrow, because we're not guaranteed another day. But when we get another day, boy, I'm happy.
It's a great thing.
I'm happy.
It is a great thing. Yes, it is. We have to have that next day. It is what we live for.
We do. We do live for the next day. That's for sure. Yeah, and so again, just circling back around, we got to get a better night's sleep. We all do.
We do.
Yep. I mean, and then that'll enable us to make the good decisions to eat better, eat healthier, cleaner. It'll also help us, want to work out, go on that mile walk.
That's right.
And then you get a better night's sleep, and now you go 2 miles. Then you go 3 miles.
Yeah, I mean,
take baby steps.
Again, it goes back to we got to make sure that cup, it gets full again, and so we got to think about all the things that we do during the day that make that cup complete, so that we can move forward and get a great night's sleep, and then the next day start again and start fresh, so that we can pour into everybody else's cup and help them too. So it's all about sleep to us. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, it is. But to your point, sleep is most important, but also we really need to focus on getting up at the right time, right? And then what we do throughout the day. So if we don't fill our cup through the day, as far as the energy that we use, then at night it makes it a little bit more difficult to sleep, right? Because our brains, how they're set up is we want to take in a lot of different, senses, use our energy. Right. We always sleep better. I mean, right? I mean, we always sleep better if our cup's full, if we finish the day strong,
Absolutely.
If we accomplish our, 5 things that we needed to do today. And we stopped and we even smelled the roses. Maybe we put our feet in the sand or put our feet on the ground. I mean, there's just things that make us feel good through the day. So then when it comes time for sleep, we're ready.
That's right.
And then we get a good night's sleep on a good mattress.
That's right. Everybody loves to go out and run around on the beach, run in the ocean, get tired, that night you're going to sleep like a baby. And it's all because you filled that cup. You got all those things going on and during the day, and you were able to sit back and relax and think about those things. Then your body goes, you go to sleep. Your body starts to go, hey, look, your muscles are going, man, that was great. I actually got to enjoy the ocean. I got to enjoy the running on the beach or whatever it is. And so your muscles are doing the same thing. They're gonna relax. They're gonna recover. And so it's all about what you do to prepare for your sleep. It's so important the entire day.
So do you sleep better at the beach?
I do. It depends. It depends on who's with me and what we're engaging in.
Yeah.
But it's a change of environment, so it changes my sleep habit, and so I get my physical part of trying to get a good night's sleep is a little bit better. I'm doing something a little different, but it is definitely a mindset of, okay, I'm in a different place, so I don't do my normal routines. So it's a little different. It's a struggle.
Yeah,
it's definitely a struggle. So when I'm at home and I'm actually sitting in doing my actual good sleep routines, which is, hey, look, I fail at that too. I do. I mean, but in general, I think that as long as I fill that cup up, I can get a good night's sleep. Even in a hotel mattress, they're not the greatest, but some places do have good ones, and that when you get on a really good mattress. So I think that my body definitely needs to be, expended during the day so that I get a good night's sleep physically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The beaches. I mean, and any travel is always a little bit difficult. But to your point, if the mattress is good, I mean, usually we get a better night's sleep.
Yep.
Because we are expended our energy and we did a lot of those fun things. We filled our cup. But yeah, that's interesting. I know you and I we go backpacking sometimes, and I know that first night of sleep, it's a little difficult just because I'm out of my realm. But that second and third night or fourth night,
does like a baby?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Does that work for you too?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We've talked about it.
Absolutely, yeah, because it's a new environment thing, and then all of a sudden you get your system down, your body gets acclimated back, and you expend all that during the day. You take in and again, I think that it's not just physical. Definitely during the day. I mean, it's the senses. You smell things. You feel the sunlight. I mean, just anything visual that you see. You take that in, and then at the end of the day, you lay down and you go, God, that day was so beautiful. It was awesome. Especially in the mountains, you look over, and you're like that valley. You see it, and then you envision it as you're going to sleep, and you're just like, oh, this is awesome. So you do, you just start to dive into that. But yeah, it's definitely, it's sleep is so awesome when you get a good night's sleep and you wake up the next day and you're just like, yeah, I had a great day yesterday.
ready to hike another 14 miles. Yeah. And do it again.
Yep,
yeah.
exactly.
No, that's true. Obviously we don't get to sleep in our MattressGrove mattresses when we're backpacking. I mean, be nice, but
we got to figure that one out.
We got to figure that out, yeah. But we speaking of, I mean, we don't roll mattresses. We don't put mattresses in a box because, that would be a camp mattress. It wouldn't be a backpacking mattress,
That's right.
But it would be a camp mattress. All of our mattresses are delivered flat. That's what we do. We believe that the mattress, should be manufactured flat and delivered flat, and that's just one thing that we really lean heavy on. Because if you put one of our mattresses in a box, guess what?
Well, it turns into a big round
Boom!
thing that all of a sudden it blows up. The cardboard goes everywhere.
Yeah, people.
I mean, we did do it.
That wouldn't be good.
We did do it. We were experimenting, and we did do it. And it's
Didn't
not a
work too
pretty
well.
picture.
No.
It's not pretty. And so I think that's one of the things that we want to make sure everybody understands is that when you get a good quality mattress, you cannot put it in a box. It will blow the box up. It's absolutely can't do it.
And it's heavy. It's a pain in the neck. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Drop it on your doorstep.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to drag that thing in the house?
140-pound mattress.
No.
You're going to try to lug that in. No, let the proper experienced delivery teams come in and set it up for you. Even remove your old mattress for you. Whatever your needs are. It's a service that is untouchable. So you don't have to worry about a thing.
No,
all you got to do is worry about making the mattress.
That's
up.
right. That's exactly right.
So I mean, that night, as soon as you get it, you don't have to wait for it to come back up, and 3 or 4 hours of, oh well, I'm not sure if I waited long enough.
Yeah, you don't have to do any of that stuff.
Yeah,
and in MattressGrove, that's what we do. We will deliver directly to you. Our retail partners, they'll deliver right to you. White glove, free delivery. So and that's the only way. That's really the only way to get a mattress. But anyway, got off topic. But we don't have any sponsors. We don't accept any sponsors. We're gonna say what we want to say. But that wasn't an ad, was it? MattressGrove? Was that an ad? Was that a plug?
No, that was who we are.
Oh yeah, that's who we are. Okay, gotcha. Awesome. So sleep tip of the week. So one thing that might help everybody is if you really don't know where to start, set an alarm. Set an alarm for the end of the day at whatever time. If you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, maybe set the alarm at 8 o'clock and start your routine. Start whatever routine that may be. Maybe it is drinking some water, taking a warm bath, brushing your teeth. I highly recommend that.
Definitely.
I highly
brush your
recommend that.
Yeah, that's a
but
good
whatever routine, just start a little routine, and maybe it doesn't need to be a 2-hour routine. But I mean, if you think about, if you have children or when you were a child, because I mean, all of us were a child, right?
Yeah.
We had routines, right? Our parents said, here's what we're going to do. Okay, you're going to drink some more milk, or you're going to take a bath. We're going to take a bath. Well, for somewhere along the line, we decided that was not a good idea for us, and we started doing other things. We don't do a routine anymore. So a routine would be where I would kind of start, just a simple routine, whatever that may be. And like I said, it could be a shower, could be a bath, could be warm tea. Don't drink coffee. No caffeine.
Coffee is probably not a good idea when you're getting ready to go to sleep.
That's right. But start there. But then set an alarm. Set an alarm or whatever. And remember, get up at the same time, but don't hit the snooze button.
Don't hit the snooze button.
Yes. Get up. And so anyway, awesome. But yeah, self-care doesn't have to be complicated, right? I mean, it really doesn't. It's simple. Then that's a great way to start self-care. And for some reason along the way, again, at the same time that we stopped doing our routine, we stopped taking care of ourselves because we have to start taking care of our kids or our spouse, our friends, or whatever. So there's nothing wrong with self-care, and we should be, very we should think about our self-care. I know I do.
Yep.
I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect, but every day just get a little bit better.
If I don't take care of myself, I definitely can't take care of anybody else. So
that's so true.
Yep.
Yeah, that is so true. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. If you like this episode, please like it and share it with your friends. We always welcome any DMs at MattressGrove at @MattressGrove on Instagram. You can follow us and find us on whatever podcast platform that you found this on or you prefer. So we appreciate it. But send us a DM, and any questions, we'll bring them here. Any sleep tips that you guys may have, we would really, really like to share them here.
We'd love to hear their stories.
Yes,
We'd
absolutely.
love to hear your stories.
Good and bad.
Bad. Yep. Definitely. We love the good ones, but the bad ones are good.
Sometimes
it's funny.
Yeah. And maybe next episode we'll talk about the other thing that you do on a mattress other than sleep. Text. No. Don't text. Don't text.
And don't watch
text.
TV.
No. So maybe we'll talk about that.
That's right.
That's more fun anyway, right?
That's right. Oh, yeah.
All right. Until next time, sleep better.
Sleep better.